Hey, it's Amethyst Virgo. I'm back. This video is going to be about what people don't understand about your energy, your sign, your element, whatever it is you want to resonate with today. And by element, of course, I mean fire, air, earth, water. Now, if you're looking for something more specific, there are videos that I have for those. I have the air series, Libra, Aquarius, Gemini, where I talk about the similarity of air and the differences. I have to do the same thing for Virgo, Taurus, and Capricorn. Do the same thing for Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. I do the same thing for Sag, Aries, and Leo. So I have those, and I'll link them in the description box or down below, where you can get, if you're a person new here and you're like, wait, I want to know about the differences of the signs. I have a series for those, okay? This is just some thoughts that I have. Some of my videos I plan out, some of you know that. I meticulously make sure I write the things I want to write, and I have slides. And some of my other videos are just thoughts I have throughout the day that I'm making to a video. So I want to talk about what people don't understand about you. There are things that people can sometimes struggle to really get about energy that they don't have. Okay. So for example, people can sometimes struggle with water energy. If you don't have a lot of water energy in your chart, you don't understand how people lead through emotions. It can be very difficult to understand what that looks like and feels like. Now, though we know Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer have different energy, this is about just water. Water is operating from the idea that their feelings are real, okay? And so it's hard when you dismiss the water sign. Oh, you're in your feelings again. Oh, you're being emotional again. Oh, you're just upset again, right? Because to that person, they're literally in a position of feeling. And it doesn't matter if you're a water sign or not. You all have felt before, unless there's something wrong with you, and then you can't connect to human beings. So that's a different situation. I'm not a water sign. I have a moon in the 4th house. In Sag, I do have Venus in Cancer, but I don't. Venus in Cancer has more, in my 11th house, is more of a social implication than it does the Venus in Cancer prototype, in my opinion. But that's a whole different story. So I have energy in my 4th and my 8th, and my 12th house, not 8th. I have signs there. So, planets. So here's the thing, though. So I know that this is real. That's not my default. Emotion is not my default. Sensing is. Sensing, and I said the difference between sensing is more of your connection to vibrations, universal things. That's more 12th house. But the 4th house is, there's an environmental factor there. So of course I operate that way. So my point in saying that is I get it, water energy people. I kind of get it, not all the way. But I get it as an astrologer, but as a person, that's not how I operate. But I understand and I appreciate you, because your connection to other people is typically very strong. And the people who are water signs create really great relationships with people. And it could be water moons. Maybe your moon is more pronounced than your sun for some reason, because maybe your sun is by itself, but your moon has 3 planets near it, So the point I'm saying is people don't get that you're operating through real feelings. They can dismiss you. But the other reason they don't understand you is some water energy people, anything can set them off. This is wrong today. That's wrong now. My whole mood is gone. My whole mood is messed up. That person said that thing to me. It reminds me of an insecurity that I had. It reminds me of something my mother used to say to me. It reminds me of this situation from 10 years ago. This person is trying to, strip away my vulnerabilities, right? You don't know what it is. It can be a person who has a little bit of stage fright, or you don't like being put on the spot, and maybe you're a moon in Scorpio, and to you, that's a trigger because you don't feel comfortable doing that. You feel comfortable doing what you committed to. You went to that meeting to learn about the new product. You didn't go to that meeting to do a role play with somebody about something you don't know about. And now you feel put on the spot and you feel uncomfortable. Okay, you feel uncomfortable. And you don't have to be moon and Scorpio. I'm just giving an example. You feel uncomfortable with that because that's not what you committed to. And you're, well, what is this? Scorpio doesn't like that. None of the water signs like when you're pushed into something they did not really commit to. Now, Pisces can meander a little bit easier depending on the situation, if it matches their vision. But also Pisces doesn't like to be put in pressure You're putting the Pisces under pressure. So either way, when you slice or dice it in those situations, in general, water energy needs to be in a mode of comfortability, in a mode in which it feels safe to do the things you're asking it to do. And so when a sign doesn't feel comfortable, water energy now wants to shut down. They're internalizing everything. It's in here. And for those who are fire or earth or air, that's just whoa. Because we see fire, what they do. We hear air, and we can see the product of earth. We see it. But with water, we don't. And that could be a strength. There's a strength to that. But people don't understand you sometimes. Because one, it can be anything in that environment for Cancer, anything that could just set you off where you're not comfortable anymore. And now you're like, nope. And we're all trying to figure out what happened, what's wrong with it. And sometimes you don't want to talk about it because, again, some water energy people need to process this. I need to process what's happening. And I'm not a water sign, but I get it because sometimes I want to be left alone too. And I'm like upset about something, but sometimes I want someone to ask me. But sometimes I'm like, look, I'm good. Just let me sit in this. Let me sit in this. Let me get myself together. And you typically will have let's say you have a Cancer moon person or something like that. But they have a Leo rising or they have a fire rising. They're eventually going to get themselves back up and running. That's why people don't understand you, because they're not operating under that. They're operating under deal with feelings later. We'll deal with feelings later. Why are we dealing with them now? Why are they coming up now? Because sometimes feelings can come up in situations where people don't think they matter, but sometimes they do. Some people are too cutthroat. Some people are too direct. Some people think, well, this is how we're supposed to do it, so we're doing it this way. But you didn't take into account that person's situation. All right. And so that's sometimes a really good, trait of the water sign people who care about others. Not every water sign person is a bleeding heart caring about people. Some people just care about their own feelings. Okay. But the point is, people don't get you. They're not going to understand you because of that. Now, sometimes you have to stop and realize, wait a minute. Am I in my feelings? I feel this way. You might have to borrow some traits from your chart. Borrow some traits from another sign and say, wait a minute. I feel this way. That's my issue. I'm not projecting that on y'all. I feel this way, but I know it's a personal reason I feel this way. And I've had to work on that myself. And again, I'm not a water sign, but sometimes I'll have to look at something and say, because that's Sag moon and it's very active. Okay. And it sometimes can feel like I know what I want in the moment. And I'll talk about that with the fire. But a lot of you sometimes have to take a step back and sometimes ask yourself, I'm allowed to feel how I feel, but my feelings are not reality to everyone. So how do we come together? Or sometimes I need to just tell people I'm not in the mood right now. I'm not in the good space, or I'll be good. Give me 2 hours. Give me 2 hours. It is okay to do that. Now, again, do you have to pick and choose when to do that? Yes. The first day on the job, you can't be acting like that. Okay. The first day at work, you'll be like, give me 3 minutes. I'm overwhelmed right now. That's not something you do first day at work. That's something you do with a colleague you've been working with for 10 years, and you are comfortable enough with each other to trust each other, where they know your work ethic. And you're like, give me 2 hours. It's a rough week. They're going to understand you better than somebody you just met. So you have to be careful who you do show that emotional side to, when, even in relationships, how trusting are you, or don't tell all your deep, dark secrets the first date. Well, how much are you giving, right? And so the point is, water energy people understand, like, other people don't operate like that. Literally, they don't, that's not their first mode of action. And so for you, it's going to be important for you to understand how to communicate that better, and also how to allow yourself to understand other people. Okay. They're not hurting you on purpose. People aren't always hurting you on purpose. They didn't say that on purpose. But it mind you, of something somebody said to you 10 years ago. And now you think anytime someone brings up a certain topic, they're talking about you. Or, oh, she did that on purpose. But really, it's like, did she? Or is this more my issue? Especially Cancers who internalize the past a lot. Is it your issue? Or is it really her issue or his issue? Whatever, okay? Now, fire. Well, I have 3 fire signs in my chart. Three main ones. Now, the thing here is fire. People don't understand, and I'm a Virgo sun, so I don't even get it sometimes either. Because I'm not the first person to jump into something. But if it's a project or something I can handle, I typically get really excited, so I'll jump in. But the thing is like, I get it, wanting to jump in to something. But sometimes you have to understand other people are not moving as fast as you. And so sometimes I'll see an idea, something will come up and I'm like, oh, can I redo it now? Right? Or, oh, this project, I'm going to start. I'm already looking everything up, right? I'm pouring through everything. Third house, Scorpio energy. I'm doing all of this. I want to make sure I understand everything thoroughly. I want to jump in. Let's start. Are we starting next week? Are we starting next? Now, Virgo energy, again, it's not all about me, but I'm saying I can prioritize. Oh, that should be happening in 2 weeks. That should be happening in 3 weeks, all that. But with fire energy, you move, you're moving. But people don't understand that, and not everybody's willing to move because there are questions that have to be answered. So air energy people are going to remind you about the questions. Earth energy, okay, well, how is this getting done? Okay, you did that today. How are we going to do that tomorrow? Because fire, y'all can get started, but you sometimes need other elements in your chart or other people to help maintain what it is you're doing. Okay? Because you start it, you spark it. But you also have to understand that when we move too fast, we sometimes can miss things. And this can be work, relationships, this can be goals, anything. But what's misunderstood about you, let's get into that. People don't know that you have another core to you. People can think you're a really good time. People cannot take you seriously when you do have certain issues because they're relying on you to always be happy or always be fun or always be on the move or always be down and always be someone who kind of just knows what they're doing next. And here's where sometimes it can be an issue. It's like, let's say though you're a fire sun, but you're a Capricorn moon. Well, Capricorn moon, well, that's a detriment sign, nothing wrong with it, but in astrology, there's signs that are in detriment. There are signs that are in fall. There are signs that are considered to be, obviously rulership and exhaustion, right? Well, people don't see that in you because you have all this fire into your chart, but you got that Capricorn moon. And maybe the Capricorn moon's in the 12th house. And people they're shocked when you don't feel a certain way. They're shocked when you're not happy. They're shocked when you're not a good time. And people make you feel bad about feeling bad. Because let's say you're in a family and your brother was always getting in trouble, had issues growing up, in and out, had to go to alternative schooling, all of this. And everyone's always making sure Tommy's okay. Is Tommy okay? But no one's making sure Brandon's okay. I just made these names up. I don't know. Brandon is a fiery Aries, moved out at 18, made a way for himself, got a nice house, there's a lot of pressure on Brandon. There's a lot of pressure on Brandon to succeed. Maybe his son's in the 10th house, Aries. So people look at him, golden child, but nobody wonders, well, why does Brandon not feel good? Why is Brandon's sulky at Thanksgiving? Because Brandon has issues too, but nobody checks in on Brandon because they assume things. Because fire energy, you guys, many fire people, there's a smile, there's a happiness, there's a jubilance, and you might even shock yourself sometimes when you're not in that mode. If you identify heavily as a fire energy person, again, you could be an Aries and say, wait, I'm an Aries, but everything else is in earth signs and air signs. You might not really feel as close to that energy of the sun. But the thing is, like, it's important for you to understand you have to show that other side of yourself because people typically, and the sad part is actually, people don't want to see it. You're the good time. You are the person that's fun. You make them forget their problems. You're joking, you're laughing, all those things. But a lot of fire energy people underneath the surface have issues too. And it's up to you to sometimes listen. Listen to what they're saying. Listen to their problems. A lot of times people scoff them off, and some fire energy people, especially let's say it's a fire energy person who has Jupiter conjunct the ascendant and you're a fire ascendant. Well, yeah, you're always smiling or you're always happy or you always feel you have to give so much to people that it's difficult sometimes for you to accept help. Okay. And sometimes being very active is a person who's running from something. A person who's very active, they can't stay still, they can't reflect, or they're always doing something, they're always out, they always have to be on the run. They're kind of sometimes overcompensating for something. But typically, people won't understand you when you're not showing that fun side of yourself. So I think the thing is, like, especially as we get to a certain age, like really understanding who you're around. Because even if you're fun and you're a good person to be around and you're fun and you're amazing or whatever it is, you're exciting, it's important to feel like people recognize your feelings as well. Remember, I just talked about the water signs. All the signs are super important. And so that's something I would just keep in mind is like, how do you also show the other side of yourself, whether through creativity or whether through just speaking a little more candidly about the things that you've gone through? Because this, like when a celebrity speaks out, people are like, oh my gosh, they faced depression too. They faced all these difficult mental health issues. Yes, because it's not confined to just one personality type. And so that's something just to keep in mind in terms of like what people don't get about you, what they're not going to understand. They're not going to understand the reason why you move so fast either. Like, sometimes people are less likely to trust you because they don't know what you're doing and why. You don't feel you have to tell anybody why, especially in Aries. I don't need to tell anybody what I'm doing and why I'm doing. I'm just doing it. But you have to understand in certain areas of your life, you're more likely to get people to trust you when they can see that you're doing something that's going to amount to something that they should give into. So that's something sometimes people don't understand as well. Is like, where are you going with this? Or you have an idea. What does it actually look like? And sometimes you believe in yourself and you're right. And it insults you for people to ask you because you're like, I feel this. I know this is right. I know what I'm doing. Why are you questioning me? But people won't understand why you take initiative so much because sometimes people look at that as, whoa, that's coming on too strong. But sometimes it's because you are passionate. It's not always because you're, extra, Now, Earth. Well, what people don't understand about Earth, people don't understand why you are just not willing to try something that deviates from what you have decided and planned. They don't understand it because there's an inflexibility sometimes. Now, again, the fixed Earth is obviously Taurus, but when we think of Capricorn and Virgo, everything's about to finish with what I see. Earth is about what I see. So Earth, sometimes people don't understand like your inability to kind of trust something that you don't have control over or something that you quite haven't done yet. Because the thing about Earth energy, really, Earth energy doesn't trust anything until they see it on the table. I see, like, okay, you're going to pay me. Where's the check? All right, we're going to do this. Where's the progress? If you have a boss, and look at the progress. Where's the reports? Where's this? Where's that? That's probably an Earth energy in there somewhere. That doesn't mean they're an Earth sign, but maybe they're Mercury and Earth. Oh, that's fun. You have a fun boss, but the minute something has to be in, all right, where are the plans? Where are the graphs? Where's this? Because Earth has to see it. People don't understand that. Because that requires you to be really rigid, or that requires you to be all about seeing something materializing. And sometimes people want you to trust in the work that they're doing. Or if you're talking about like a relationship, Earth doesn't trust until it sees it. So Earth energy can seem very formal. Wait, okay, they double checked that we're going on the date at 7:00. Okay, I already told them we were doing it. Why are they asking me again? Right? Capricorn. I don't know you. I'm not really going to do anything extra until I know that you're actually what you say you're going to be, because I don't have time to waste. Capricorn, I'll be patient, but if I see this as something that can't pay off in the end, and by pay off, I don't mean like literally, I'm not dealing with this. Virgo, I don't know. I have to see more of this. Let me figure this out first before I accept this. And Taurus is like, well, we're not going to move very fast. That's not going to happen. I need to test the waters a little bit first. Let's build up to this. So Earth energy, people don't understand the need for concrete evidence. Like, no, don't tell me you're going to do it. I need to see that you started it. The Earth doesn't trust people, but people can sometimes look at Earth as you're too much to deal with in terms of you require too much. Why do I have to do all of these things to prove this is going to happen? So sometimes Earth, people don't understand, but Earth, that is the way Earth feels safe. Earth seeing that something is real and in front of them It's how Earth feels safe. Okay? It is how Earth knows what to count on. It's not about what you feel. It's not about a new initiative idea. It's about, I can count on this. But Earth, a lot of people don't understand that. And so what happens a lot of times is people will think that, oh, they're not, no, I'm not inviting them. No, they're going to ask too many questions. They want to see the itinerary. Oh, no. They're just over the top. And it's not that they're over the top in the ostentatious way, but Earth energy, again, is about concreteness. I see it. I feel it. It's there. But other people don't view it like that way, because water is like, I feel what I feel. I told you that. I said I love your idea. I said I'm down with your project. Why do you need me to go email you a list of things I'm about to do next week? Okay. Or you can have air is like, we have a great idea, but you're ruining it with all these plans and all these things and all these specifics and things. That's Virgo, right? But all of these things you want to do, you're ruining the idea. You're making it not fun anymore. People like, Earth sign, you're not making it fun anymore because you want to make, and that's the thing, Earth, that's really going to make you mad. When you know what it takes for something to be successful, because you see the building blocks. Taurus, Capricorn, I see the outcome. Virgo, I know the specific things. Whoa, if we miss that one step, it's not going to work. But other people don't see it like you. They don't understand it. They don't experience things in that way. They get more excited for the idea of things, or the initiative, take an initiative, or the feeling that comes across when coming across a new idea and feel like something that's meaningful to you and something that you're nurturing if you look at water sign. So that's the thing, Earth, that people won't understand the most. They won't also understand that you're rather logical and you're practical, and it will come off sometimes as cold or callous, but it's really because Earth is like, well, let's do what makes sense. What makes sense is not always kind. What makes sense is not always compassionate, right? That there's a threshold for kindness and compassion that an earth sign person can't take anymore. So earth sign person will be like, look, married couple, we bailed your brother out 4 times because he has a gambling problem. We're not doing this anymore. You're not giving him any more money. I don't care who he owes. And the Pisces husband or someone's like, well, wait, or it could be the wife. Pisces spouse is like, what do you mean? Like, that's my brother. But Earth is like, no, we have tuition to pay for the kids. We have a mortgage to make. We're still paying off our cars. We don't have money to bail your brother out. So do you see the difference? A water sign might want to attach. No, that's my family. I can't leave him hanging. But the earth spouse is like, that doesn't logically make sense, but you seem like you're the bad guy. So that's what people won't understand about you. But sometimes you do have to, so that's an extreme situation, but sometimes Earth does have to learn to be compassionate and understand, because I think that I have a balance with that. Like if something's due, right? So let's say something at work is due, right? And I set the deadline. And somebody went through a difficult week or something, I will ask them, hey, how are you doing? What's going on? Do you need an extension? Or how, just let me know. I do that. Now, would I have always done that? Probably. But I think I've gotten better at understanding how some people respond. Some people are go, 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 go. And I'm like, I'm going to go, 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 go too. But also what I've had to understand is I don't need to go, go, go all the time. That I'm allowed to feel. That's why I said it's so important with water energy. You're allowed to feel. I don't feel it today. I need to process everything I'm feeling for me to be emotionally healthy. Right? And so earth sign sometimes just has to kind of bridge that gap of understanding other people. And maybe your friend is a fire energy person. And their idea sounds crazy, but they believe in it. You have to gauge, is this the right time to poke holes in it? Capricorn, well, who are you going to get to invest in that? Virgo, well, but like, did you think about this and that? And Taurus, well, I don't know if this is the right time. Like, you want to do this by next year? Like, you sure you're going to be able to do it by next year? So the thing is, Taurus is like, we're both working at the same place. We're cool. We're making good money. Like, we're comfortable. Why are you trying to go quit and start your own business? Like, Earth has to learn not to do that, because that fire energy person might have that good idea and it may work. And everything is not for everybody. And so just understanding that. Okay. Now, we talked about earth, we talked about fire, we talked about water, let's talk about air. But people don't understand about air energy. People don't understand about air energy is that sometimes air energy, the way in which you engage is all through this need to fully examine or bring up any type of idea that is possible. And sometimes people think that shows not having faith in something. You know, if you're questioning things too much, if you're like the Gemini wants to question, they don't understand that that's how you connect things, through questioning, through asking questions, through gathering the information. Gemini likes to gather the information to make an objective point of view, but some people can look at that and say, wait a minute. No, you're questioning me. Why are you asking 40 questions about this? Versus Libra. Libras need to see both sides. Well, let's invite Bill in so Bill can, and you're looking like, why do I need Bill to come in? Right? Wait a minute. My idea stands alone. I don't need another person in. But people don't understand. And then Aquarius, people can look at Aquarius like Aquarius can sometimes be a contrarian. Okay. Well, you know, bringing up things that kind of take your idea or take what you're talking about into left field, where really that's Aquarius's understanding of the world, of society, right? You might say, hey, I have this really good idea. And Aquarius might say, oh yeah, I read an article about this, but look, what about this? Did you ever think about this theory here? Like, is this really, you know, how are you going to make sure that's economically sustainable? How are you going to make sure that, you know, this is a good idea, your business, but aren't you gentrifying a neighborhood, right? In Aquarius, because they're bringing the ideas to the forefront we may not have considered. But to an earth sign, you're shattering my plan. I have a plan. What are you questioning me for? For fire, air. Okay, what are you asking all this for? I just started this. It's great. It's a great idea. Okay. Water. I already know what I feel. Scorpio, I've committed to this. I already know what I'm doing. What are you asking me 400 questions for? I've already made my commitment. Pisces, I'm going to do what I feel when I feel it. Don't get me wrong. Some Pisces are really good with that. The natural understanding of the knowing without knowing, or sometimes people consciously know, but like the sensing, the timing. Pisces doesn't care about our timing, but sometimes they're right on time with doing something that's meaningful, right? And how Pisces kind of knows, like, to cut all the excess off of life where everything's diligent, because Pisces understands that things can still get done on a different timeline. So, but water is like, you're making me uncomfortable because I feel this is right, but you're telling me I got to consider the other point of view. I already know what I feel. Again, based on if certain signs are sextiling, these signs that have positive relationships with one another. But what you have to understand is that you're coming to situations with information that people need time to process. And that unless a person on the same wavelength as you, it's important to understand how they are interpreting what you're saying, right? Because to people who've already made a decision, or people who already know what they're going for, which I think, even though people say earth and water goes together and fire and air goes together, that's only because of this idea of the feminine and the masculine, right? But I'm going to be honest with you, of all the other elements, they're a little bit more decisive, right? Air is everywhere, right? Water can be committed to that feeling, fire, that act, and earth, that plan. Whereas air, even the fixed air, there's always these kind of chances. With Libra, it can go either way. With Gemini, that's mutable air. And Aquarius is Saturn and Uranus rule. Who knows? Right? You could get the conservative part or you could get the rebellious part. You don't really know, because we function through ideas. Just like I said, everything else in life is important. The water, the water, the fire, the water, the fire, the earth. All of that's important. The air gets us thinking. And when we think, we get to see that there are different ways to interpret that. I didn't even notice that. Oh, now that I know this thing, I can go do better. Now that I know this thing, now that I know that the reason why they didn't answer my phone call was because they were sick, now I know that they weren't dodging me. What are signs, right? Information is so important because it helps us understand something in a more literal way. And when we understand things in a literal way, we then can make sense of things. And that is the whole point of this, right? Air, I can make sense of this in a way that helps me now make an informed decision, because I had Aquarius. Aquarius energy could be beautiful when we are changing our minds, because we might be doing things the wrong way. And that person comes up with a new idea and we think they're crazy. But then a year later, we're doing everything the way they did it. 10 years later, we're doing what that person said 10 years ago, or 100 years ago, you looked at that person crazy. Some of the theories that we have are new because of science, but some things somebody said a long time ago, but nobody believed them. And now here we have modern people bringing something up and saying, actually, that's true. So air, people are not going to understand, because sometimes you are breaking their comfort. Air energy, you are breaking through their comfort. You're also helping them think in a way they haven't before. You're funneling through the ideas, which is super important anyway. Okay. So that's it for this video. I don't want to go too long on this, but if you liked it, hit the like button. Also, make sure you're subscribed, and that's